There's something wild out here in the heart of North Carolina, where the trees grow thick, the trails run deep, and every mile dares you to go further. This is Uwharrie National Forest, and today we're taking on its most legendary Jeep Badge of Honor trail, Dickey Bell. From steep hill climbs to rocky descents, this trail doesn't hold back. So buckle up, because we're about to push the limits of man, our Jeep, and the mountain. This is Road Rash Off-Road. Let's ride. About 5 hours north of Atlanta, you're going to come to a place called Troy, North Carolina. This is where we will find Uwharrie National Park. We are going after that next badge of honor called Dickey Bell. Now, if you're interested in coming up here to Uwharrie to pick up that badge, the first thing you're going to have to do is come here. This is the Eldorado Outpost. It's in Troy, North Carolina, and this is where you're going to come in and you're going to pick up your National Forest badge. So we got our day pass here. It's $5. They gave us a map also to kind of get around the park, but they did mention that there's no food, no restaurants, no towns, probably within 30 minutes to 45 minutes from Uwharrie. So if you're coming down here, dispersed camping is cool, but you're going to have some sort of food or drink with you. So we're going to pick up some things here just at the outpost and maybe cook some dinner tonight. Okay, so it's not going to be fancy dinner tonight. Just for tonight, we picked up some ramen that we can just boil some water and make some ramen. My wife would probably kill me. She tells my son all the time, do not eat that store-bought ramen stuff. Oh, I might regret this. For our day pass, I'm just going to stick it right up there. So coming along with us on today's trip to Uwharrie, pick up that badge, we've got Colleen here, and this is the JL, two-door JL. She rides this thing harder than most men that I know. She gives that Jeep some hell. Of course, you got the Road Rash Jeep right here, and then we got Stuart. You guys know Stuart, we call him English. That does not say disaster, it says Dastia, if you ask him. I don't know what that means, but he's like, maybe I should just change the name to disaster, but it's Dastia. We're going to load up in the Jeep and we're headed to the trailhead, and we're going to knock out some trails today. So to get to the trailhead, we're going to use Onyx Off-Road, and we will be able to find Dickey Bell and the other trails. All right, so it looks like we're here and Dickey Bell is right there. We're gonna come over here and probably jump on this trail first, which is FS 576. That's gonna get us into the park here, and then we'll come around the Rocky Mountain Loop 92, and then we'll hit Dickey Bell this way. Let me know if you guys want to pull over up here and air down. So Uwharrie is actually a U.S. National Forest. It's actually one of the only national forests in the southeast that holds a Jeep Badge of Honor. And it's also one of the smallest national parks in the United States. It's only about 50,000 acres. I hear it is such an awesome park. You can probably see a lot of different wildlife here, from bears to bobcats and all kind of cool stuff. So fingers crossed we get to see something cool this time. Bell Trail. Jeep Badge of Honor. It heads right up this way right there. We're going to go ahead and air down, disconnect our sway bars, and just get ready to tackle this one today. Here we go. Dickey Bell Trail on the Jeep Badge of Honor. I think it's rated between a 5-7, which shouldn't really be that difficult today. I've seen a couple of videos online and it doesn't look too difficult at all. But we're looking forward to tackling that today and getting that badge for the Road Rash Jeep. Good thing I played all those video games when I was younger. I could back this thing up with this camera just like I'm playing a game. So we missed our turn. We went that way, but we're supposed to go that way, which looks so much more exciting. I think we're going to need 4 low for this one. Only because it's kind of steep and it looks like there's a lot of loose rocks up there. The first obstacle here, it looks like there is a go around here if you'd like, but this way looks a lot more fun. This is probably the obstacle that gave it its number. It looks like it's going to be the most challenging one here at Dickey Bell. The rocks are really loose, so they're going to be shooting out from under us. And looks like some of these rock ledges look pretty tall right there. This is the angle of this here. You've got probably about a 2-foot rock ledge right there, but it looks like if you just stay passenger all the way up, you can kind of miss the majority of that. You've got a left arrow here, or a left side, that looks a little bit less aggressive, and then over there where Stewart is looks very aggressive. So he's probably going to go that way because he likes going that way. I'm going this way. But even if you were to choose the bypass, this is where the bypass would come up here. You still have this rock ledge, which isn't too bad. You could probably put your driver wheel here and come up this side over here and then cut it around to the easier left side over there. Okay, that obstacle was pretty difficult. I got hung up on that last part and just couldn't make it up there. I had to keep backing down, then I just finally bumped it. Sounded like it ripped my whole axle out of the back, but I made it up. Obviously after the Native Americans. This is a very, very old area of the mountains, Uwharrie Mountains, and it was actually well known back in the 1800s for the gold rush. They participated in the gold rush out here, and you can actually still search for gold out here in the National Forest, but that's kind of cool that this used to be such a significant place for the gold rush. Past the first kind of crazy obstacle, everything else seems to be just scenic wood riding and maybe some bunny hills, but it's an okay trail. I don't know that I would come back and do it again, but it's kind of fun to do it once. And that was the full Dickey Bell Badge of Honor Trail here at Uwharrie National Forest. The beginning of it was a little sketch, a little challenging, which is probably where they got that number from. But the rest of it was just super easy. Some cool little turns back and forth, some bunny hills, and some really cool little scenic forest areas. But the trail itself was actually fairly easy. I think that you could have missed some of that rocky spots in the very beginning if you wanted to. I know that we were kind of looking for a little bit of action, and so I got hung up a little bit, and it was a little bit challenging, but Road Rash did it, and we got that badge. All right, We're gonna go find a campsite. Colleen said that they have some cool campsites near the lake, just outside of Uwharrie or in Uwharrie. So we're gonna go try to track that down. I love some lake camping. So we just opted for a really quick little campground. No dispersed camping tonight because we have a much bigger trip coming tomorrow headed up to the Outer Banks. But tonight we're going to stay here at the Baden Lake Campground. You can see the lake is right there, and it's just it's just a campground, right? It's actually really beautiful. We got Stuart here, and then Colleen. And then they brought a friend from Italy named Pierre, who has just flown in from Rome and is going to be making this trip with us. So that's kind of cool. We're going to go ahead and set up camp and maybe just relax a little bit and start some dinner. You guys, if you love jeeping and off-roading and overlanding, then like, subscribe, and ring that bell for Road Rash Off-Road. You're not going to want to miss some of the content we have coming up. In fact, tomorrow morning, we're leaving for Cape Lookout on a 4-day overlanding trip in the Outer Banks, where they're going to drop us off on this island, and then we're just going to overland for 4 days on this desolate island. And then just after that, we have a 5-day video series coming out where we went and tackled the Ozark Overlanding Adventure Trail. Both of those videos are going to be amazing. You're not going to want to miss them. And then if you like Jeep Badges of Honor, we just did last week Hawk Pride, which is Jeep's newest badge of honor. There's not very much information online because they just released this badge about 30 days ago, and we went out there and tackled that one last week. Make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that little bell on YouTube so you don't miss any of the content for Road Rash Off-Road.